house, back with the Don't Mind Me podcast. It's your boy Fresh Who. I got my dog Bobby B in the building, and today we got a special guest, Miss Chelsea Higgs Wise. How are you doing, love?
I'm feeling great. Really happy to be here.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Just for the people who may not know, give people a little brief introduction about yourself. What do you do, and the whole nine.
Sure. My name is Chelsea Higgs Wise. I'm the co-founder and creator of Marijuana Justice. So we're an advocacy org here in Virginia that fights to end the war on drugs, specifically how it's harmed Black people in Virginia. So we want to see the beneficiaries of any type of legalization also to come to Black folks, which is what we're really working on right now.
Nice.
So people can find us all over the internet, THC Justice Now, and at marijuanajustice.org.
Beautiful. How long have you been doing that?
We were founded not that long ago, 2019. We actually were founded because back in 2019, the governor back then, I don't know if y'all are around remember this, but Governor Ralph Northam had a little scandal with his yearbook interview. Blackface, KKK, Klan robe was in there. Yeah, and he's a doctor.
Whoa.
And so he's a pediatrician, and people were really taken back. He's also a Democrat, which means usually we wouldn't see these types of things. And so he was going on this Black apology tour.
Okay.
And we were like, you know what he could really do right now to apologize? Remember, 2019 is also 400 years since 1619. So the whole country is talking about Virginia and the first Africans that were trafficked here on Virginia shores.
Yeah.
And our governor out here in a blackface.
Wow.
So we were like, this is kind of an opportunity. And we had some data from national about how Virginia had treated Black folks and convicted and criminalized Black folks at least 4 times more than white folks.
Yeah.
And so it was prime data. And we were like, yeah, let's do something that he has to. And it ended up being how Virginia became the first state in the U.S. South to decriminalize and legalize marijuana in 2021.
Wow. So you had a direct hand in that.
Oh yeah, yes,
Wow.
Directly, yeah. You know, it's wild to even say that, and it's still something I feel like I have to take on. But yeah, no, we would not be here if we hadn't done this in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, we wrote a study that went on in 2020, and they used that study to then change the law in 2021. In fact, I helped write the actual amendment that was signed by the governor in 2021 to do this. And he was not going to. He was going to wait until he was done. And we're like, no, remember blackface?
Yeah.
This is your last term. There's no way you can be governor again in Virginia. That's not how that works, back to back.
Right.
So before you get out of here, you need to do this right now. So when people are like, well, why don't we have stores? Why don't we have dispensaries? It's because I had to hurry up and do it before he was gone. And I was like, so let's just legalize something.
Right.
We had a Black senator that was able to help. And yeah, no, we are the reason. We're really, proud of that. That's why we still fight so hard to make sure that we can finish this up in a way that is still going to benefit Black folks, because it was off of Black criminalization while it was signed.
Right.
You know, the governor didn't care about this. We had to shame him into doing any of that. So like we take politics just really realistically, like in the face of what it is.
Yeah.
We know what this is.
Nah, I do.
So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. You have something you want to touch on?
Yeah, I got a couple questions I wrote down.
Yeah.
I also want to, for the people who may not know, what are the laws in Virginia right now as far as legalization?
Good question. So people might remember in 2020, a lot of things happened, and that was when we decriminalized. So there are no more necessarily going to jail or prison for small amounts of marijuana. It's still happening. Let's be real. If you have over an ounce, if you have up in pounds, then you still are probably going to have some type of criminalization with that's going on.
Yeah.
In 2021, it means that now we're allowed to consume it. People are like, what? Yeah, prior to that, you were not even allowed to consume it. You weren't even allowed to have it in your system at all before 2021, which is crazy. We know that, right? That's a conversation I have with legislators a lot. Like, a Virginia weed industry has been around for decades. You know what I mean? So denying that would be ridiculous to start from. But so you're allowed to consume it, and you're allowed to grow it, and you're allowed to share it. So you can have up to 4 plants in your home, and you can share it among up to an ounce with other adults.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now remember, renters, that's a different space, right? Because you're a landlord. The Landlord-Tenant Act in Virginia still means that they can write something in your lease to be like, no weed, no cannabis, no smoking, no growing.
Right.
So you might be able to do that. I also talk a lot about public housing, right? So all the courts, that's a federal land, and because it's still federally illegal, they can't possess it, they can't use it in that space, and let's be honest, when they wanted to arrest somebody, where do you think they were going? So there are certain areas that are still criminalized, still prohibited, and I say that's the most affordable housing in the state. Right. Is still like an area for criminalization to happen. And to be really clear, we did this because we don't fuck with cops. Right, ending the drug war, legalizing weed is all a way for us to say F the cops. Right. Like if you knew who I was in 2020 and round and that type of organizing, you can catch our podcast, Race Capital. We interrogated racial narratives in the fallen capital of the South, Richmond, Virginia. And all we did was track the protests. We talked about the real that was going on. And so stepping into this for us was a way to actually do something and to build something too, because we saw an industry that was going to come to Virginia, whether black folks were going to be involved in it or not. But we're like, well, why not? Why not us? Yeah. So this was always a way to stop the criminalization, maybe bring some access, maybe some business ownership, but if anything, like let's get the police off us.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Is there one story from someone impacted by your work that sticks out to you?
Oh man. I hear a lot of stories still, and I realize I'm going to continue to hear stories. But something that I try not to tell people is like this big dramatic story. It's something that happens every single day. I don't think people realize that this type of criminalization is still happening, is that someone had, I think, a little less than a pound of weed on them. They got pulled over, and this is a man, black man, early 20s, adult, but still young. You know what I mean? I hate the way that we adultify some of our young men. Still a young man, and he was strip searched. It was hard for him to even talk about like the way that he was touched, what was going on. He was like, this cannot be right. All because you smelled something. They hadn't even found the weed at that point. They just smelled something in the car. So the smell of marijuana is what opened the door. And then they found the weed, they locked him up. And then what also just happened from there is that what they said is you don't have to go to prison, but you do have to report to this thing every single day. And go to this class for the next 2 weeks, right? But then he couldn't get there because he didn't have a license. And he couldn't miss work. So he lost his job all for this 2 weeks that he had to show up. And then he actually ended up going to the judge and be like, just lock me up. Just lock me up for 30 days. And that when I know it's over, I can do the time. I don't have to worry about a ride. Like I can tell my job when I'm coming back. It was, and I could just see the heart, like the whole hurt in his eyes of like, no, just lock me up. Like, because these consequences out here are just way too much. So it does remind me too that we changed the law. So if a cop in Virginia says that, let me search you because they smell something, say that's not the law. Say you can't do that no more.
That's no longer probable cause.
No longer part of probable cause. No.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you see stuff like that often? Like, these laws still being like misappropriated and you know what I mean? How far are we to getting to a point where it's like, that's not happening, or
how far?
Maybe I'm fantasizing a bit, but
look, I live in the imagination. Particularly, my answer to that is like, how far are we from abolishing the police? This ain't not got nothing to do with weed.
Right.
That's about enforcement, right? That's who we trust to keep us quote unquote safe.
Right.
So yeah, no.
Yeah. I almost got you started there. So
you almost got me started. But it's I get in a lot of trouble. Start talking about it's, but no. But I think it's important for people to know their rights, because the cops are going to take advantage of that, and they're going to think we don't know.
Right.
So some things just to remember is that you can possess up to 1 ounce on you. If you're in the car, get it away from your arm's length. Get it away so they can't say that you're reaching it, right?
Okay,
Try not to have nothing that you burned or nothing in the car, right? Because then they can say that you were using it while driving it and you get a DUI, right? And so that's an easy go to it. But don't let them search your car just because they smell it. Just say, that's no longer probable cause. Do you have any other reason to search my car? Don't ever call it marijuana. Don't ever call it weed. Call it cannabis. Because guess what is legal since 2018 at the federal farm bill? cannabis is, hemp is. And hemp is cannabis.
Right.
So just say cannabis. And then guess what? They're not going to use the money to test your flower on whether it's actually marijuana or if it's hemp. Right? You can't prove that. You see all these corner stores, they're selling the same thing. Call it cannabis, call it hemp. Right? So just protect yourselves. Like that's really what marijuana justice is out here trying to protect. Better safe spaces. We know we keep each other safe.
Right.
And we can best do that when we have more information.
How do these like corner stores sell this, and how is it equitable for us? I see more of the fairer skinned people selling it, but I don't see none of us in that space.
So to be really clear, I just said, all cannabis, it's all cannabis. We work very specifically on the marijuana part. Right. All right. So I'm gonna answer your question, but I just want to be really clear that the things that we do are about adult use marijuana, the stuff that gets you high, right? What these corner stores and what I just mentioned about the farm bill, that's a federal level that has decriminalized and basically made it legal for hemp. Right. Virginia also legalized hemp a few years ago, and so there is this big loophole for hemp, basically, which is low dose cannabis. It's not supposed to get you high. These motherfuckers These folks came into the General Assembly and said, we want rope, not dope. They didn't want nothing to do with the weed industry. They acted like they were not going to come in just to set up, waiting for the legal market. And look at what happened. We got no new containers, no new shirts. I mean, these folks came in selling the legislators these pipe dreams about what they were going to do with hemp if they legalized it. Now you just setting up waiting for the weed market. And there were no zonings against these types of businesses, so they're just regular business licenses, and they're cheap and they're accessible. But you're right, the people that have it and the people that are doing this right now do not look like us. We wouldn't be allowed to have a store like that with the lights like that. Right? Like it would not be the same. And we know that. Otherwise, this loophole would not occur, right? And we have to understand that the drug war, always from its inception, and what I say the drug war is like when it became a crime. When doing it, smoking it, being around it literally would criminalize you. That was always created to make a way to get us into the quote unquote justice system. Right. They had just like freed people, giving us the right to vote in the 60s. There was a lot of people were getting jobs, affirmative action. And it was like, how are we going to get these folks tamed? You know what I'm saying? How are we going to get them in line? And it's always been us. It's always been poor folks. It's always been immigrants, right? And so that's why the war on drugs was created. And if you don't know, President Nixon back then, who actually created the war on drugs, his aide is on record talking about it was created very specifically to get niggas, Mexicans, and poor people. Like, word for word, what he said. So we have to realize that that's what we're peeling back. It ain't got nothing to do with us, for real. So there's always going to be a way to criminalize us in this hemp loophole that we see on the corner stores. That's their latest way, right? They're going to legalize weed and still find a way to lock us up.
Right.
Like, I'm not selling a pipe dream that they're not. I'm just like, how do we do that in a way that a lot of us do benefit and we can fight our way a little bit out of this as well? Like, just remove the tools, remove the laws, the criminalization. If they don't got nothing to enforce, then what can they do? Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that we work on.
What are the what advice would you give, or what are the steps that you would give to somebody who's looking to really get into the marijuana or hemp business, or who may want to own a dispensary or own whatever? What are the necessary steps that need to be taken to do that the right way?
Step number one is, do you want to be political? People always like, well, I'm not into politics. Well, then cannabis is the wrong business for you, boo. It's the wrong one, because as soon as you mess with somebody, I guarantee you they're going to know the process better than you. And I don't mean politics of like who you endorse and out here carrying a sign. No. Do you go to the do you even know where the General Assembly building is downtown?
Yeah, I don't mean that.
No, I mean, look, one of my favorite stories is in 2020 when everybody went to City Hall and they were like, we're going to storm the Capitol. So many young people came to be like, which building? How do we get there?
Oh my God.
And it was like, y'all, this is this is why we got to do better when we're organizing. But it's the question. If you don't know what the General Assembly is, if you don't know who your legislators are, if you don't know who is making the rules on your cannabis business, and if you don't care, if you don't think that's important, then please don't put your money into this. Like, save your money.
Yeah.
29% of cannabis businesses go underwater. Survive. Let me say it again. 29% of cannabis businesses survive in the legal market. Wow. That's not good.
It's not promising at all.
It's not promising.
Not good stats.
Now, a lot of them are because they're over regulated and they don't have capital set up, and there's not fee waivers. They're paying high taxes, right? And that's all stuff based on regulation. And so if you don't know the people that are making those rules and you don't know them to fix those rules, then yeah, you're going to be priced out. It's going to be hard for you. So if you want to get involved, you should follow us. You should support us. You should tell us what you need, and we'll make sure that stuff shows up in the bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can we get more involved if we're trying to help out and see like a big change with the cannabis industry here?
Yeah, we work specifically in Virginia, right? And I tell folks, if you want to change like in Richmond or in your locality, in Virginia, it all starts at a state level. Like, we actually have a rule that the localities can't do anything without Big Daddy permission, is what we say. Like, Virginia has that type of government. Not all states do. So even if you don't care about state politics, the time is to really still get involved here, because that's how you're going to impact it. So follow us at Marijuana Justice. We're going to have events in September where you can come, meet more people that are involved, meet some legislators. In January, we always host a lobby day or advocacy day. And if you're following us, you'll see a time to that. We invite you to the General Assembly. We show you around. We teach you the process really quickly. And you get to be part of seeing what this does. Because if I don't have people, then they don't believe me. Then I'm really easy to stomp out. So I need people, especially people that look like us, to come down and be like, no, we care that we don't just legalize it, that we legalize it right. Like a very specific way.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on just going back to like the laws and what's allowed, what's not allowed, right? Because I've been to like, these weed pop-ups, right? Sometimes it seems like it's all good, but then I hear about pop-ups getting raided, and for any, because I know people who vend weed vendors, stuff like that, who may be looking to do have their own pop-ups. What are the do's and don'ts when you're trying to do something like that? Like,
this is not legal advice. I am nobody's lawyer, first of all. And what I'm going to say first is what is legal, what is not legal. First of all, there is no legal way to buy marijuana in Virginia. Like, none. I don't care if it's a pop-up. Unless you have a medical card, that is the only way to do it. To go to one of those big corporate medical dispensaries. So when you see these pop-ups, y'all, that's you all the way underground. So just know. Right.
Copy that. All right.
Ain't nobody in there got permission from nothing. Everybody is at risk.
Everybody
Right. Everybody is putting everything at risk. If your name is on these lists, like emails, a lot of people are doing email blasts. Get off these lists, y'all. Please, just be careful when you do these types of things. Knowing they're underground, be careful, because surveillance is a real thing, all right? And it's real easy to hack someone's list.
Dang, I got a couple group chats I got to get out of.
I would not use WhatsApp for any types of group chats. I trust more Telegram and Signal, specifically. Signal is a good one. Again, this is not legal advice, and I'm also not telling anybody to break the law. I'm just telling you what helps and what I prefer. There's no legal way to do that. Now, when people are underground that sort of way, everything is illegal at that point. Now you can, and people are like, well, what if I buy a t-shirt and then they give me something? That's called the gifting market, that we know that from DC. Yeah, we outlawed that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Virginia were like, we don't want to do what DC did. Write that in the law. So it is actually, you are not allowed to gift. You are not allowed to exchange nothing for no marijuana. Nothing.
All right.
Which is crazy, right? Because, like, you're allowed to consume. Well, how are we supposed to get it?
Right.
And you're allowed to own. You have,
so the only way now is you know someone that grows it and they gave it to you. Mutual aid. That is the legal way.
That's it.
Yeah. But then ask me how you get your seeds. Well, someone has to, like, give it to you, right? Seeds are also not included right now. So it's so much gray because we are acting like we don't have a thriving weed market right now. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like, and so it's really, I have to remind people that we're already in competition. Whatever the state puts up, it's going to have to compete with the underground market because that's been here. It's got its customers. It's got trust. It knows what people want. It's convenient, especially nowadays. You know, you ain't got to wait for the weed man like you used to.
Not at all.
So yeah, that's the concern for a lot of state markets is how do we compete? And what Marijuana Justice and our partners are selling is that you compete by putting the people that were in the illegal market that want to make it legal and want to be in the legal market, you bring them with you.
And that's my question, right? Why is it just more profitable? Is the justice system just more profitable than the weed system at this point? Is that why they're not going through with completely legalizing it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it seemed like everybody would make money if it was just legalized.
right. Well, I'm gonna be honest that so Virginia has vetoed it the last couple of years because we have a Republican in office right now, right? And we have a November election that can all change. But for the last 4 years, we haven't had to have anything approved because of the Republicans. Right. I'm also going to be honest that I have also said and opposed bills, and people will be like, why? I thought you wanted it to pass, Chelsea. Well, it's because they done crossed all of us out. And at that point, no, you do not get your revenue. Yeah. If we got hundreds of people still jails, prisons, on probation for weed, how does that look? You know, if you're a parent, you can still have your legal use of marijuana used against you for visitation of custody. That's a bill that we passed, but got vetoed.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, we call it resentencing bills that people that are still inside, need to get out, people on probation, or maybe you're in there, but you also have other charges. Well, you can have a little time off now for that marijuana charge, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And other states have done that. That's the type of repair that we look at too, before you get your revenue, right? Especially because you're gonna do the most to keep us out of the industry. So yeah, we've very much for a long time said that no revenue without our repair.
Like that.
Yeah.
No question for us.
Yeah. So, do you feel like cannabis is a net negative?
Negative what?
In general, just I feel like it's very unproductive if people use it. There are positives, but overall, like, is it more of a negative than a positive?
I think that the narrative of cannabis has been taboo, right? Particularly in our era of living. And we've even socialized that to other countries, to be honest. So I've had the pleasure of working with people across seas, and they're like, well, we get a lot of our weed propaganda from y'all, and they call it propaganda. Because it's always been looked at more medicinally across the world versus the way that we've done it just the last 50 years. Wow. We had Whitney Houston out there saying, just say no, our heroes were taking on the just say no message. So I think too, again, that imagination I love to live in the imagination. I love to live in the mind of our ancestors and remember that we've been here a long time before 1971, before they taught us to just say no. Yeah. And so I think in the span of things, no, of course it's not negative. And so it's about who you ask, what room you're in, and who benefits from weed and cannabis being negative? Yeah. Somebody does, because otherwise they wouldn't have to frame it that way. So, we are seeing that the taboo is being listed. This is my whole life's work. There ain't no damn way I'm going to say it's a negative thing on this show. It's freed a lot of people. It's become, a way for people to have businesses, a way to people to heal themselves. A way for people to just relax. I always tell people all the time, you don't need no medical reason to want this. Yeah. That's actually your own self-determination. Imagine that. You don't need permission. You don't need anybody to make you feel bad because you done had a long day and you want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We can hold different things at the same time. We know that inhaling anything that's on fire is going to be bad for our lungs. Right. I'm not saying that that's not a reality. I'm also saying that we don't have a lot of access to this healing plant otherwise. We haven't been taught how to use it otherwise.
That's true.
I learned how to roll, when I was 17. That was one of the ways I only knew how to roll a blunt. That's what I knew. Now there are so many different ways that we can consume, that we can use topical on our body, And look, people 55 and older are the fastest growing population to start using cannabis. And so if our papas, grannies, all that, like whenever I go to a church, y'all, and I speak about this, because they love a little criminal justice, but then at the end, someone's always coming to whisper in I love a little gummy for my knee pain. I got a little pain right here. What you got, Miss Chelsea? I don't ever got nothing for sale. Let's be clear. But most people do think I have something. So it really is just about whatever that room says it is.
Yeah.
And the more of us, let's say it's a positive, then we can change that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
No, because you said you learned how to roll when you were 17. Hence, you probably been smoking for a while, right?
I'm 40 now. Yeah.
So, I want to talk about like the quality of weed now, and how you feel about how much weed has changed, and just people doing things and adding additives to the weed now, and doing a bunch of so I just want you to touch on that, being a smoker, how you feel about the quality and all of that.
Yeah, okay. So I just mentioned I'm 40 now, so I'm auntie status. So what I might say to answer this might sound auntie, right? And I'm like, this is generational, this answer, right? Because I'm sure the stuff I was smoking on was different than what my parents were smoking on.
Right.
Yeah, some of the stuff out here is just too potent for me. Like, I don't even need it. I like a little lower dose. Like, now that I go to dispensaries, I'm able to pick out my percentage. I like around 13%. And a lot of folks in our community don't even know what the hell that means, right? And that's again why we do what we do, is just because I think the adding to the blunts, I think all the potency, the warning, that will come at a healthier, more informed way when we get legalization and more information is out there for folks, right? Because I don't believe in banning anything. Right now in the Virginia General Assembly, they're actually talking about banning really, really potent things, so like 1,000-gram, chocolate bar. They don't want that to necessarily be on the shelves. I think that banning anything, I think any type of prohibition, you're going to just actually have more invention out there that's going to make it more dangerous. Right. So, from my own use, I like a little something in the middle. I don't need nothing in its 20s. And I think it's important for people to start to be able to learn that. But I also know, like, it's dangerous. Like, people are trying new things. We do not talk about cannabis as it's like this exceptional drug, right? So we're here in all the drugs. So this is when I get a little looks in the room. I think all drugs should be decriminalized. Yeah, like all of them.
Bust that down. Why you feel like that?
Wow.
Yeah. I think that when we remember that the drug war has nothing to do with drugs, we'll be able to get people more health care, more treatment, and safer drugs.
I can see where you're going with that.
You see what I'm going? It's like health instead of like
instead of treating the addicts like criminals, we treat them like people who need help.
Yeah.
We treat them like people who need to be rehabilitated. And instead of treating like people who sell drugs like criminals, let's do stuff like put them in trade schools, or let's
just treat them like business owners.
Or there you go, help them. I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
We've been taught so much to just see criminals out of people, when actually under different glasses, like, this is an expert. You know what I mean?
I see that.
And I also don't want to treat everybody that uses other drugs as folks that need help either. Like, I want to be really clear about that. Again, just like some people smoke weed just to relax, other people take drugs also recreationally. But I think you can make healthier decisions, you can make safer decisions. And so even when we get back to like adding stuff to your cannabis or how you roll, like, can you test your drugs? Do you know what a fentanyl testing strip is? Do you know where to get them? Do you keep Narcan around you, right? So we talk about harm reduction in all the ways. Not because we don't think that cannabis is like the safe drug and we don't want to touch nothing else, the hard shit. I don't even use that kind of language. Like they taught us to hate ourselves in that way. Like, you know, especially when you further south you go, more religious you get. This is a hard conversation to have with Black folks because we are still adjusting, and I've lost so many people to overdose. I know what the Black overdose crisis is. My family is from Richmond. I've seen it. I know it.
Yeah.
Closer than I would like. But I also know that locking people up doesn't do anything. In fact, it just increases their risk to fatal overdoses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the overdose rate has actually tripled for Black folks in Virginia in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Tripled. Cocaine overdose is killing us. I don't know who needs to hear this today. My spirit said it out loud. So anyway, when we talk about like, what do I think about what's going on today? I think that prohibition is not working. I think that poverty is not working. And I think it's driving us to self-medicate in a way that makes it easier for them to criminalize us.
Yeah. Good.
Talk to us about reparations.
Ooh, yay. Yeah. So I got into this for the repair of it. Like, I know a lot about a business model. I had to learn that later, but you know, as an abolitionist, as somebody that wants to literally abolish the system, I was like, it's not working. Well, cool, let's end it. I think we all agree that it's not working. And we all have like relationally learned about reparations, particularly about like 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we didn't get that.
No.
Right? That ain't happened. But what did happen is they gave us Jim Crow. They gave us the war on drugs. And so, like, when you add all that up, I think that, well, not just me, but I have been taught and been around in a movement that also says that we need reparations for the war on drugs. And so reparations is talking about stopping the behavior. It's talking about bringing satisfaction. It's talking about restitution. It's talking about healing. And it is also talking about a check, because this is capitalist society. We love to talk about capital until it's our capital.
Yeah.
But so when we talk about what's happened to Black folks in this country, I don't think that we can leave out harms from the war on drugs when we talk about reparations. And reparations is a legacy movement. I don't care who's in president right now. We should not stop talking about it. Like, don't give up hope for a 4-year term.
Yeah.
Right. I think, and that's what the movement of reparations teaches us, is to think long and reflect even longer, and know that the bigger fight is here. Because when we bring reparations, like, we will feel different, and we should aim for that goal. Like, don't lose that. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, for us, it's always been about just like repealing the harm, bringing repair, and winning reparations.
If you could narrow that down, right? If you could narrow reparations down to 5 tangible things, right? Whether they be a check, land, school, whatever, you know, what are the 5 tangible things that you think would be acceptable enough for us as Black people?
Yeah, acceptable enough for Black people. Well, I'm not going to speak for all of Black people. That's a lot of things. And to be honest, this is a conversation around folks all the time that work for reparations and are moving to, like, what does that look like? Can we agree? I'm going to say the one that actually trips us up even most is who qualifies for reparations. That'll get you splitting heads real fast.
That's a great question, though.
Before I even know what it looks like, before we get to who gets what, like how do we even decide who the who is? Because they've displaced us, they separated us. You know, a lot of folks are just like who based on American slavery, like chattel slavery. If you were a Black immigrant that came over later, well, you ain't part of that lineage. We got to settle that amongst us. But I think it depends on the people of that land, of that area, and it can be land. It can be money. I think that we do need to address our school systems and to make sure that we write some truth in the school systems. I use Chicago a lot for a good example of where reparations has come in. They actually proved that their police department was torturing people. So some lawyers got together and they were able to prove that, and they got reparations for the Chicago police torture.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a monument coming. There's a whole clinic that offers free therapy and rehabilitation that they got from that type of reparations project. It has to be taught in their public schools now about the Chicago torture. So, right, it got in there. And so they didn't necessarily get money or check from that specifically, but I think there was restitution for the victims themselves.
Okay.
Right, definitely, as well as records cleared by the people that were, tortured. So, it's not just the one big reparations. Like this country is giving reparations in so many terms.
Right.
I like to use that as a challenge for us to get our demands together. Also, let's stop allowing the oppressor to define what we want, which is why we stepped into cannabis. Like, you're not just going to tell us our piece of the pie. We're actually going to be in the process.
Yeah.
So let's get our shit together and demand what we want. And then people like me with a little policy, whatever, we can go up there and be like, this is what we want.
Right.
This is what reparations means to us. But yeah.
Smooth. You got something else for me?
Yeah.
I think that's my bad before you ask. Off the top of your head, right? And this is hypothetically talking, right? Mm-hmm. Who should qualify for reparations?
Ooh. Not on camera. You're not getting me to say that. Look. First of all, like, reparations for what harm? Right? Like, we done been harmed many different ways. So, like, what harm are we actually trying to make up for? So, in our cannabis bill, I'm a real politic this answer. In our cannabis bill, we're talking about people that have been disproportionately harmed by police enforcement of drugs.
Right.
So, if you've been arrested for drugs, then that's the harm that we want to bring repair to.
Gotcha.
So now we are creating the criteria. So if you've gotten a charge, if your family member has gotten a charge, you can be somebody that receives those types of reparations. And the reparations in their cannabis bill that we're looking at right now. And this can be argued. I get people arguing with me all the time on Twitter and lots of things about what this is. But there is no money necessarily, but we are actually working for a startup fund that's already in the code, that if you receive a license and you've been historically impacted by having a charge, you can actually receive grants and startup loans for your cannabis business.
That's dope.
That's in the bill that we passed in 2021.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
thank you. There's a cannabis investment fund that helps with neighborhood grants, that helps with things in the community, right? So we've got grants for individuals harmed, we've got grants for communities, and we also have education dollars. Not hopeful it's going to go to the education that I want, but in my dream world, it's going to be education about the realness of cannabis. Because with your question about is it bad, right now every cannabis campaign that's paid for by the state is talking about how bad it is. Shout out to Delegate Price at the last cannabis meeting. She was like, does it share any of the positives and the health benefits? No, it doesn't. But that's the kind of thing that we would like to see happen in like a cannabis reparations stance. No, you're not going to get me to say who qualifies for reparations on camera.
Your spin move
Did you
on that
like
was
it?
smooth, though. It was slick.
I've been here a while. Yeah. yeah.
For sure.
Where do you see marijuana justice in the next 5 years?
Ooh. I'm gonna be really honest. We started this because we saw an opportunity for Virginia. We also know that nonprofits will not liberate us nor save us. We have a deep belief that the nonprofit industrial complex is also not built for us. And as an executive director, I also know that. Like, raising money, doing it for Black folks, saying Black very loudly and proudly is not a long-term strategy in this lane. It has always just been a strategy and a tactic. And I love our elders that talk about, like, are you part of movement, or is this a strategy, or is it a tactic, right? This was a part of a strategy, and the tactic was to stop the harm for weed. So 5 years, that would make us 11. I think that we're going to be, hopefully, sunset the org. And in nonprofit terms, that means we've closed the org. I'm hoping that we will legalize in 2026. We will be around a couple years to help and shape. And then from there, we go and do different things. I'm a Black woman. I'm a mother. This work has been really hard on me, carrying this on my back. And most people don't even know who I am. And I will not get the credit that I deserve for stopping the harm on Black folks, for making a way for us to smoke in peace, for making a way for our business. And I'm going to need a break. So I don't have the Black excellence answer here, unless you are able to really count and see that my plan is a Black excellence. Like, I want to be honest. I want to be thoughtful. For the organization and for myself. Like, and we should not be planning on taking over the world with nonprofits. That's crazy. It's just, and that just means that you aren't able to see yourself in the larger part of the movement. Right. And I'm very movement forward. I have very deep values and community. And so in 5 years, hopefully what we've done has been rooted in the community, that we don't necessarily need this specific org. Keep going.
No, that's deep. That's deep. You got anything else for him?
But people can still pay me and hire me for cannabis stuff. I just said in this particular work with marijuana justice, I will still be around doing many things, right? But I'm hoping to be able to be around and support still with these expertise, but just not in this particular way.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you want to pivot to and do the most? If you had
I don't know
to
yet.
choose?
I'm really excited. Oh, well, I have started dancing in the mushrooms, the magical mushrooms.
Okay.
You're just looking at a Harvard fellow, the law school fellow. Yeah, I went up to Harvard this summer and studied about psychedelics and looked at policy and law around that. Because Virginia has actually looked at legal or decriminalizing psilocybin, which is your magic mushrooms.
Nice.
So yeah, that is something else that I might pop out with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to just a quick fun question, right? You were talking earlier about the percentage of strains you like to try and your weed you like to smoke. You can give me your top strains. If you could advertise your top strains right now.
Okay,
What
I'm
you
not
smoking
gonna
right
say any brands because no one's paying me nothing
Right.
yet.
Right.
But I'm a Blue Dream girl. Like,
Classic.
yeah. Again, I've been here. I'm a
classic.
Blue Dream girl if I can find it. That's why I love going to the West Coast. I love being around. And then, oh my gosh, it's another sativa that's really hard to find.
That's that era though. That's that sour diesel era.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't believe I can't think of it. All right. Well, I will say that like the Disco Jays, this is a brand. So I'm gonna shout out a brand. It's a Black woman queer brand. We'll do that out in Oakland.
Yeah.
But those are some of my favorite Jays, the Disco Jays, and she also makes a really dope cigar that has the sativa in it as well. So, yeah, no, those are my faves. I'm a hybrid girl. I'm now learning to like find what type of weed I want when.
Yeah.
You know, like what kind of mood I'm in. I'm a woman, so I deal with like moods of during the month, right? So what helps me during certain times. Yeah, so yeah.
I feel like that's another reason why like weed education is like important, just because it causes for a better high for you know what I mean. Like when you're smoking with a purpose, it's different than just like I'm gonna just go grab something.
Right.
And just get out. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
And the truth is, what you smoke in the morning probably shouldn't be what you smoking at night.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
You want different things from the morning and the night, right? Like use the flower the way it wants to actually help you, right?
You smoke the wrong thing in the morning, you throw the whole day away.
Right.
The day is
And
over.
that's that negative stereotypes, right? We don't even know what kind of strain we smoke. We don't even know that we go on the wrong ones.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now you're like, oh, well, I'm productive on weed. Like, no, you're just smoking the wrong. You know what I mean?
I am high every single day. When I'm at the Capitol, please assume I'm high. Like I tell legislators all the time, I cannot do this job if I wasn't high with you. Are you kidding me? That's why I had to legalize it. Otherwise, I would be able to do my job. But yeah, no, absolutely. So if you like what I do, if you think I'm productive, you think I'm smart, just know I'm high all of the time.
Shout out, man. Shout out to the weed smokers out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, now we about to get into this next segment. It's called Keep It or Cancel It.
Okay.
My man's gonna name off some terms or phrases, and you just let us know if you want to either keep it or cancel it.
Okay.
TikTok. Keep it or cancel it.
Keep it.
Why?
It spreads the messages that Americans don't want to hear. Yeah, I'm absolutely believe the American government only wants to ban it because they are saying things that they don't want you to hear. So definitely keep.
Okay.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech. Soul food.
Keep it. Keep it. Legacy. What?
Isn't that bad for you though? It's
Man, you asking the same thing about cannabis. I don't know if you're a reliable questionnaire. You know what I mean? I can't trust you. Like, what? First you down on cannabis, now soul food?
No.
What? I didn't say just eat it every day.
Yeah.
But if we cancel it, we can't have it for holidays.
You're right.
You know, no, keep it. In moderation.
In moderation, right?
Yeah.
Sounding like a op, man.
Right.
That was all right. Kids having cell phones. I say kids like anything 10 and under.
Cancel.
Yeah,
I have an 11-year-old. She ain't got no phone. She has an iPad. That's hard enough.
Right. It's like, who you calling that 10, bro?
Right. Yeah, who you need to catch up on? All year round school. Keep it or cancel it.
I say keep it. I mean, some of these kids like it. They need long breaks. I don't know. I don't know. Someone argue with me. I could change on that one. You got a strong feeling about it? What you feel? I'll go opposite.
I say keep them in school.
Keep it?
Keep them in school all year round.
Yeah. As a parent, yeah.
They don't need no breaks.
But then you get these random 2-week breaks in the middle of your week or in your month.
Yeah, they just have more breaks at that point. It's like...
Is there more breaks? I thought it was like...
Yeah, they have more... Like, instead of... Yeah, they have like extended breaks and more breaks. So
yeah, you get like 2 weeks off every 6 weeks.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They should change that.
Yeah, okay.
Like, give them summer back.
Right. It should be every like 9 weeks or something. Like 6 weeks. That's not even enough time to really learn something. You know. Like,
He like, yo, keep them there and don't bring them back.
Basically.
I don't want to see them. That's funny.
Yeah.
I got one. It's not really a keep it or cancel it. It's kind of a either or.
Okay.
Sativa or indica?
Sativa.
Really?
Yeah. And it's so hard to find. I had to settle for a hybrid all the time. But yeah, I'm a productive girly. Yeah.
You can't be falling asleep and nodding and...
See,
if I wanted to sleep, why am I getting high to go to sleep?
That's my thing. I like... Maybe for years, I've just synonymized weed with relaxation. Mm-hmm. So, like, when I smoke, it's like... That's why most of the time I smoke at night. You know what I mean? Because it's like, end of the day, I'm smoking, my day's over type of thing. You know what I mean?
You sound real neurotypical. So, us that have, like, ADHD and stuff...
Okay.
The sativa helps calm my stuff down so I can focus on, like, 1 or 2 things instead of, like, the 50 things in my mind.
Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mention I was a whole clinical social worker therapist for 10 years before I did this. So, I can speak on mental health a little bit.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that term kind of threw me a little bit.
I understand, Everyone knows neurodivergent nowadays. That's like a big TikTok word.
I don't even know.
Damn, y'all, that's not your algorithms. All right. So for the ADHD folks, for folks with a little bit of autism, those are neurodivergent. So when your brain works differently, that means your psychosis, the cannabis is going to work differently because it's a brain drug, not a blood drug.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you. I think neurotypical, is that
you normal and shit. Right. Yeah. Look at you.
What about brunch?
Keep it.
I knew she was.
Are you kidding me? I just told you I was a 40.
It's for eggs and French toast.
It's an experience.
Wow.
It's an experience before the late hours, and I just feel like you aren't able to speak on that, and this is the wrong crowd. But yes, we have to keep it.
Wow.
Yeah. Then don't go, but don't ruin it for the rest of us. Just cancel it for all of us.
You can make that at home for $5.
But it's an experience. It's about getting up, meeting up with friends, saying hello. It's beautiful outside, right? You usually get to see a little bit of sun. It's an excuse to day drink. Don't do that.
I was literally about to say that.
That's
really what it is. That's really what it is. Yeah.
Very expensive.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm weak.
Rappers over 40.
I mean, I gotta keep them. I'm 40, so I don't know what you want from me. I like the old school rap. Maybe you don't need nothing new from a 40-year-old plus. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, absolutely. What are we talking about? No, we're keeping. Are we kidding?
But not new rappers though. New rappers at 40 or established
Ooh.
rappers?
But I mean, it's gonna be like new to who, right? Like, so I mean,
So wait.
so if someone found like Nick F right now with that,
true,
you would be like, nah, cancel him because he
Nah,
ain't made
I
it big,
like Nick.
big, but he pretty big
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
So
Nick's
so
fire.
yeah, so
Nick's
you
fire.
keep him.
Keep it.
Keep
Alright,
it.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah. Anything else?
You got a whole politician up here, so I can argue for anything. Which
yeah,
side do you want me to take? No.
Outside of keep it or cancel it, what is one legacy that you'd like to leave behind through your work?
Freeing the people, freeing the planet. You know, that's what I'm here for. That's what I hope people remember. Free the people first.
Yeah.
I say that real clear. People love free the planet, free the people, free the planet.
I love that. That's a great way to end this joint.
Yeah.
Too. That's beautiful. Yeah. Just before we get up out of here, just let everybody know where to find you at, what you got coming up next, and
Yeah.
we'll sign off.
And how can we help too?
Right.
Yeah, again, Chelsea Higgs Wives with Marijuana Justice. You can find us on all social media at THC Justice Now. September 21st, we're going to be in Southside over at Studio 23 having a film festival, part of Black Cannabis Week that happens every September. They do an East Coast tour. They start right here in Virginia. So you can come, contribute to that, learn a little something, meet some of our homies out in Philly that come down. And then later on that week, we're all headed up to Philly. You know what I'm saying? And having a big conference about that. And then keep up. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. Any questions that you have, we try to answer it there. And we would love to see you show up in the General Assembly in January for our lobby day. But,
Where's that?
the General Assembly is on Broad Street, y'all. It's like 8th and 9th Street area. It's right across from City Hall.
Okay.
Literally.
Where's that?
I'm not getting y'all gotta look that up. I'm put a little homework on y'all. But yeah, I mean, before we get out of here, keep or cancel it. Do we keep the weed industry the way it is right now? Or we cancel it and start over with a legal one?
I'm going to cancel it on that.
You want a legal one?
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and just legalize everything. Like I said, I just feel like it'll be more profitable for everybody, and I just feel like the hassles that like our people are going through specifically, it's just we already got too many obstacles. This whole weed thing needs to be, especially you got other states completely legalizing it. It's about time. You know what I mean?
All right.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Same.
Same.
All right, well, you heard it here. Y'all got to come help us.
For
Legalize
sure.
it in
Yeah,
2026.
Nah,
Legalize it
absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, y'all.
So look, guys, this has been the Don't Mind Me podcast. We're signing off. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Man. Love.